Welcome back to Paradise Killer, a balmy night here in paradise. In the last episode, we talked to our friend Lydia Daybreak, and she basically said that she didn't do any of the things we know she did. So what we're going to do is we're going to talk to her boyfriend over there, Sam Daybreak. He's at the top of that tower. So let's just run straight there. Woo! What we're doing is we're passing through another residential zone. This is on the other side of this giant tower. There's a couple of different residential blocks. That one is one we're gonna have to explore later, though. You met that Yuri creep yet? He seems like a bad time, a real bad time. Spineless though, you know. Like, could that sack of shit actually kill the council? He's got a secret though. You can tell. We already know his secret. He talked to what was it, Eternal Blue, Love Blue, whatever the heck that god's name was, and got himself a snazzy new upgrade. Mysterious carp, starlight skin obtained. Carps were created by an alien race, and the patterns on their scale can be translated into an esoteric language if you have the correct cipher. That sort of stuff is just a lot of fun. I mean, it's the sort of thing where you could base an entire game around it if you felt like it. Oh, we could go through here now, but we're not going to. We're going to go upstairs first. We might come back down and go through it afterwards, though. Up we go. Yay! Quite a ladder. Good thing for us that we climb very, very fast. And here we are at Knife Through the Heart. Up we go. So, one of the conspiracies is, how did the killer demon get to the council chambers? How did someone manage to get a giant demon into the secretest council chambers in the world? We already know part of that answer. Lydia Daybreak was responsible for, first off, witness to the end, actually, tamed the creature, found it, and put it in the box. After that, he gave it to the Daybreaks. Lydia Daybreak took it through the first two barriers. We know she did that because she bypassed the first barrier by going in the back, and then for the second barrier, we have her space helmet and we have her key, so we know she went through. The third and the fourth barriers are things that Lydia Daybreak could not have gone through. However, we know that Sam Daybreak, the red skeleton boy out front here, went through at least the third one, because he has a vial of blood that could open that door. However, how did he get through the fourth one, which requires godliness? When we came here the first time, we didn't have any sort of hacking ability, so we couldn't get any of these little clues. Let's see what these clues actually are. Look, this one requires pyramids and worship, both of which are quite a challenge. They're the two hard ones. Still got the hiccups. Pile bunker gauntlets. Those might come in handy. And, you might be thinking, what? That's weird. Yeah, it's pretty weird. Why do we need pile bunker gauntlets? Well, that's actually how you discover the second conspiracy. And it's the only way to discover the second conspiracy, as far as I know. So, in order to get to the second conspiracy, you already have to be hacking Sam's biggest secrets, which means you should already have uncovered the first conspiracy. Because this, in the same place, is the way that he gets through the fourth seal. Nope, that's not it. There's a lump of non-human flesh inside. So we already know that the flesh of the god is what gets you through the fourth seal. And here it is.
The investigator is here.
There's a lump of flesh in here. I'm sure it isn't human. I can feel the cosmos when I look at it.
I have a bad
It looks like this has been carved off of something, like, say, Crying Grudge. So, we now know how Sam got through the fourth seal. He had the chunk of Crying Grudge. Where did he get it? Well, Witness to the End gave it to him. We know that Witness to the End carved it off of Crying Grudge himself, and now Sam used it to get through that fourth seal. So now we know the entirety, except for one little detail. We know the whole conspiracy from front to back, except one detail. How did the device actually open? How did the box actually open? Who triggered it? But in the long run, that is not a terribly important part of the mystery to my end. We know how it got there and who's responsible, so Witness to the End probably just phoned it, right? We're gonna find out. Unfortunately, because the game cannot branch, Sam won't be able to tell us very much about all this damning evidence. The ice ball you had last time allowed you to savor it for longer, but it was chilled. The colder the drink, the less you can taste it. I hope you'll enjoy the pure taste of this blend. It's delicious. What are you blending on this island? Night Alone and the Vortex blend. Maybe you can try it next time. No single malts? Blended whiskey requires a fusion of single malts, but on this island I have been focused on serving blended again. Blended instead of single malts. It's important to practice all areas of your repertoire, isn't it? What he means is that the island produces really shitty whiskey, and he's been desperately trying to figure out how to make it less shitty by blending different kinds of shitty whiskey. That's actually the reason that they went on with this conspiracy nonsense. They want desperately to stop being on these islands because they're awful.
My unique plant.
I have always favored spiced and smoky overtones. Toffee, vanilla, and orange make lightly sweet notes. I appreciate the more floral whiskeys, but they've never excited me as much as the deeper complexities of spices. It's important to breathe the new island in, learn about it, and craft a drink that can only be born on that island. The islands give the drinks so much character. Don't they? So we got a lot of stuff to talk about with our dude here, but most of it's going to be pretty flat. He likes high-end wine. He doesn't know what he's talking about, though. Yeah, nobody has any respect for Yuri Knight. What can you tell me about Yuri Knight? He's a power boy. All he thinks about is power and ambition. He wants to be on the council. Sure does. Maybe he finally snapped. All he wants is to pursue his ambition. I voted against him in one of his numerous motions, and he came across the room at me. He's angry and impatient. He thinks he's ready to run the show. Don't all young people, though? What were you doing in Doom Jazz's clinic? What do you mean? Doom Jazz told me he'd been sneaking... You were sneaking around Doom Jazz's clinic. We must all be deliberate with words, mustn't we? The wrong word choice can darken truth and cast a false light on conspiracy. I have a prescription that I need to get from the doctor. After Lydia killed me on the battlefield and my body refused to die, I lived on in this form. I think it suits me. Unfortunately, it has become quite debilitating. A few sequences ago, I began to require regular blood infusions. It's all ethically sourced from Doom Jazz and approved by the Council. Every citizen lets blood as part of their worship, and some of that comes my way. Helping the Syndicate is helping the gods, right? Please check with Doom Jazz. So we already know that what he says is true, although we didn't know why he needed the blood. But we also know that he used his access to blood to get access to one particular vial.
Sure.
We know you grabbed a piece of blood you weren't supposed to, and we know you used it to breach the Holy Seals.
When love dies,
Know anything about an unauthorized distillery in the Dead Zone? Yeah, that's mine. Sorry about it. So he's saying that he built a distillery in the Dead Zone just to make better vodka, which I believe, or whiskey, which I believe. And she also goes on to say that she found a blood chiller containing a blood vial at your distillery. And he's like, oh, what are you talking about? Well, I don't know, whatever. Like usual, like everybody, he just says, well, you're wrong.
Rhyne cannot. I don't like
We're now accusing him of what we know he did.
Anna's
And he's going to basically just say, it wasn't me. But we tricked him into accidentally revealing himself, which I didn't remember we did, so I kind of zoomed past it. And he accidentally gave away that he knows it was the third bloodlock that was opened by Kafka memory. We never said it was the third bloodlock. And nobody knows what the bloodlocks are, so in theory, or what the locks are, so in theory, he shouldn't have known whether it was the first or second or third or fourth. But he did, so we sort of cornered him into revealing his own knowledge there. What do you know about the fourth Holy Seal? I don't know anything. Want to tell me what a lump of flesh cut from a god is doing in your security safe? What flesh? Sammy.
I don't
Don't make this harder than it needs to be.
What?
Now here's another person that ends up having something to tell you after you've cornered them. This is a good way to make it so that rather than the game branching, it opens up a little bit of information if you manage to track things down. It's a good substitute if you use it right, but as far as I know, only the Daybreaks use it.
Sure.
I am under suspicion out.
And now he's going to basically implicate Witness, which is true, but it's also highly misleading because we know that Sam Daybreak used it. So yeah, he was holding it for Witness, but he was holding it for Witness so that he could break into the council chambers.
What?
Bunch of negatives here. And that's that. So we have now talked to everybody involved in the first conspiracy, and we know what it is, and the only thing we really have to do left in that conspiracy is track down how the call was made to open the safe. And we already know that it was probably Witness to the end, but it might have been someone else. We haven't really figured out what Yuri Knight is doing. Maybe he did the phone calling. But whatever that was, that phone call, that's not an absolutely critical part of our sequence. What we should probably do is start thinking about what happened with the other conspiracy. Because right now we do know that there were a whole bunch of Aiz Kiwami's kids at the scene of the crime. And we don't know why. So we should probably look into that. We should probably try and figure that out. And to that end, there's a few things we're going to need to do. And one of that is to climb this again. So we might as well do this before the end of the episode today. Now, the first time I accomplished this, I climbed it with only one jump. And that was infuriating because there's only one spot on each of these floors where you can get up using a single jump. So I would have to run around each of the floors desperately looking for the spot where a single jump would work. And it was quite a challenge. I actually really enjoyed it. I love the feeling of making progress in that way. And as I was talking about before, there's these sequences where all you do is go up and up and up and up and up over this, staircase that doesn't have a branch or anything. And the idea is you generally don't do that. You generally have, you can't go up and up and up. You can go up once or twice, and then you have to go around and you get exposed to the rest of the level design. And that's what this area is if you approach it with a single jump, because you have to keep changing which edge of the pyramid you're going up. There we go.
Those crystals obtained.
Now, the last time we came up here, we couldn't get in because the door was locked. Oh no, it's still locked. How horrible. What will we ever do? How will we get inside this locked cage? Oh no. I'm pretty sure we could just jump in, but I can't seem to make it work. Maybe I do have to unlock it. It's fine. The lock is just one notch downstairs.
Got it.
Some crimes are a pyramid, wide at the bottom, but the solution is at a narrow point. Some crimes are an inverse pyramid, balancing precariously on a single point with a frighteningly wide conspiracy. You had way too much time in the Idle Lands, didn't you? Alright, well, let's go and unlock it then. It's not really a challenge. You just go down and click this button. But I was trying to hack our way in by jumping. Now, we can come in here early on. You can come up here whenever you'd like, because you can get up here with just a single jump. But you can't do anything with this until you have the hacking that you need to do. So let's hack. And what we're doing now is we're sitting on top of the seal that locks the dead zone away from the rest of the world. And what we're doing is we are removing the filters. We're shutting down the filters that filter the air going in and out of that zone, meaning that we're basically exposing the island to demonic influence. Now this requires everything but worship, which means it's a fairly advanced late game feature, and isn't something you can do early on. And the reason for that is because going into the area it unlocks is intended to be fairly late game. Got a real Ghostbusters vibe from this. And all we've done is thoroughly distracted the guards. So now the island will be covered in guards, and that means that they're no longer trying to keep us out of places we might be trying to get into. Specifically, that place right there. Whether we go there or not next episode, I don't really know. I just thought that this was a good place to go after talking to Sam, since, you know, it was right next door. With all of that in mind, I think that's it for today's episode, and in the next episode we'll continue to do something. Whoop. I believe that's the entrance to the dead zone. Yep. We could go in, but we've already been in there. There's no reason to do it again. Here's a guard. We went in the back door to get into the dead zone. To get in through the front door, you have to have a lot of unlocking capabilities, a lot of hacking tools, which we've got, but we've also got no reason to go in there. Hollowed bamboo starlight skin. A mass of mutilated flesh was once found in a bamboo forest. Overnight it reformed into a many-headed goat. It was praised and worshipped. Well, that's a weird little detail, isn't it? See you next time.